Good morning, and let's get into another session of Python. It's almost similar to the previous session where we have gone through, along with the loops and whiles, we went through a little bit on continue breaks. So it's similar to that, the previous video, but we have something called assert. Let's read that one, and we'll see a little bit more example on continue break in this particular session along with the range. Okay, let's start. So if you see, um, okay, we have break range that we have gone through, but we'll go a little bit more about few of the more functionality on range, then break, continue, and a new one called as assert. Okay, let's understand a little bit about assert and then we'll go for that. Assert is something similar to if you see in one way, but in if cases, right, we have conditions like Boolean condition of false or true, right? If it is false also, we have another function based on that logic, it will actually continue the else logic, right? But assert is used for the debugging. So when it is false, it's actually stop and let you know the debug message for that. So the whole difference, key difference between this true false if Boolean and assert is in assert the program will stop when it found error. Okay, when it didn't compliance the expectation, and it will help you to do the debugging of your program. Okay, you can use this one as your debugging information. Let's go through this one. Okay, uh, what is range, right? So range you have gone through. It's a sequentially number that will help you out, right? Generate sequence of numbers. Break, stop a loop immediately, right? It will come out from the loop. Not necessary it will come out from the program, but based on logic, but it will do that. But the whole key part, it will just come out from the loop. Okay. Next, continue. Okay. At that particular time, it skip the logic. That's the continue do. Okay. What is assert? Check assumption during program execution. Okay. Or the best one you can use for the debugging. Okay. Let's go through this. Let's go few of the example. This we have gone through. Okay. There are a few of the example on this. Let me start from the given one. Okay, so you know what this is going to do. Okay, let's play it. The file is Python. Seven one. Okay, if you see, I'm using Mac and the default is coming as Python, but I also have a virtual environment that we are not using over here. So let's use this virtual environment. To use the virtual environment, we'll do source the virtual environment. Okay, so now we can just do Python 721 range. Fine. So we start from 0. Okay, because we have not given anything, and it will go till the number what you have given. It will not include the number what you have given. It will go till what you have given. So if you see, start with 0 and goes up to 4. Okay, let's see a few more example on this one. So in this case, it will start with 1 and goes up to 6, not including 6, right? So let's continue this one. Okay, we can comment this particular part. Python 071. Let me clear Control L. Okay, started with 1 and goes up to 6. With the last number, it will not get included. That's the key thing. You remember that one. Okay. So how the range works? It's have the stop, start and stop, and start, stop and step. Okay, these are the things. For example, okay, if I go for this one 5, it will start with 0 and goes up to the just previous number, that one. So once it reached to this particular 5 number, it will not execute anything on this. Okay. So in this case, it started from 1, start stop example, and reach up to 6. So in first one, it stop on a particular number. Okay. And in this case, let's go through this one. Okay, I'll just comment this previous code. Okay, clear Python 0721. See, it's included 0. It never included 11, just previous to that. That's why you reached up to 10. And it goes on a two-step one. So it skip 1, 3, then 5, then 7, and then 9. Okay. So what it print is only with the step of 2. Okay. So if I there is this way, we can go on a negative way. Okay. What it's doing is from start with 10, not include 0, which should be stopped by 1. Okay. And it goes in the minus number. So if I run this one, start with 10. Okay. And not 0, but it reached up to 1 and in a negative sequence. Fine. So counting backward we did. So in this case, if you see, it will count up to 0 because we have included -1. Okay, let's comment this. Fine. Because we have given -1, that's why. If I give minus 11, it goes up to what? -10. Let's try. Okay, see, it started from the given value and it reached up to -10. Fine. Okay. So if I do with the -2 step, what do you see? Okay. It did -2 step. Okay. It skipped one number in between. Fine. Okay. Converting range to list. For example, with this particular command, okay, we are doing a typecasting on this and we are converting this range. This is a range, right? So start with 1 and goes just before 6, right? Which is 5. So it will carry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and it converts that one as a list because of this. Okay. And it stay over here. Then we are printing this one, right? So fine. It become a list on this. Okay. You can perform rest of the list methods on this particular numbers. Okay. Okay, let's try one of the method. Okay, so what we are going to do in this example, okay, if you are getting confused, you can create separate file and just create commenting rest of this previous code, right? Okay, so in this case it start with 1 and goes up to 10. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So what should be the length? It should be the length of, if we calculate, it should return you 10, right? Fine. Okay, so the len function is there. You get the total number of count on this particular. Okay, what it's doing, we are accessing different values within the 10th, the index values of that particular thing. Let's comment this one. Okay, so it range, so it should be start with 0 and end with 9, and based on the index value we see because you start with the same 0, that's why the 0th index value should return you 0, the 5th index value should return you this one. Let's run it. Fine. So if I make it 1 comma 10, right, at that time the 0th will be 1 and the 5th index would be 6. Okay, got it. So because it's starting with that one, so if I do like 2, let's make it 11, else we might go out of this range, right? Okay, we are getting out of the range, so let's do 13 and try. Okay, so start with 1 and it gave like 3. Okay, 1 3 5, then 7 9 and 11. That's why you are getting 1 and 11. Okay, I believe you are clear up to this. Okay, we are going very detailed, so hopefully your concept should be very clean now. Okay, how exactly we are doing? We are starting with 1, we are reaching up to just before 11, which is 10, and each I, okay, we are multiplying that one with 5. That's why we are doing a 5 number table. Okay, this is how you are getting 5 number table, because you are multiplying this 1 to 10. Okay, 5 into 1, 5 into 2, something like that. You can change this one in this way also, you can do that. Okay, let's do this. I'll comment this one and I'll say like I into 5. Okay, this is going to give you the same 5 number table. If you want 9 number table, you just change that one and you'll get 9 number table. Fine. So if you want I square, this is how you'll get I square. Okay, so if you want I cube, this is how you'll get I cube. Fine. Okay, most of the things are there in this particular node, but during the video, right, we'll continue playing a little bit more. So these are basic mistakes what someone is expected. In this case it should be 1 to 4. If you accept 5, expecting 5, then you are doing wrong, because the last one you should not be including. Okay, another one is the direction. So start from this one and it would go, so it should be doing 10 and it will go up to 2. Okay, but if you want up to, okay, sorry, in this case the direction is wrong, so it should be -1, right? Because if I do this one, it will do nothing. Okay, because it should get 11 12, all those things that will not get print out. Okay, forgetting the range in for the loop. Okay, forgetting range in the for loop. Okay, this is instead of range 5, if we give this one, right, this will give type error. Okay, so it should be like this. You can play around this. Okay, now let's go for break. What break do? Stop immediately. Okay, so when it reaches 5, okay, it will come out everything. So what it will print is 0 to 4. Okay, so break example 2. Break by will do that. Okay, 073 screen. Okay, look, because at fifth when it reached 5 we did break. Okay, so if I do continue, will come again, it will not print 5 but rest of the things it will print. Okay, so loop run, condition true, yes, break means loop ends. Okay, this is another one. Let's comment this one. You might like to do separate file if you are getting confused. Okay, I'm just keeping on the same file. Okay, for the same topic. So what it is doing, it is going to do, if once you type the correct password, then only it will give you this one. Okay, so it will actually, it's also incrementing the count. Okay, but we are not actually validating that one. If you want, we can do that one also. Okay, let's do, okay, password example, right? 074. Hi. Okay. Zero 074. If I type anything, it will not work. It will just keep doing this one, right? But only if I do Python 1, 2, 3, it is actually doing this one, but we can also, instead of this while true, right, we can say like while attempt is less than 3. So if I change to that one, after the count, once it reaches to that one, it will actually fail. Okay. We'll go for this one, a nested loop. Okay, this last time also we have gone through a little bit more example that one. Okay. So the range means 0, 1 and 2 is the first layer. Within that again in the second layer 0, 1 and 2. So it should be 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2. Then 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2 and then 2, 0, 2, 1 and 2, 2. Let's see. Clear screen. Python 075. Okay. Oh, okay. If because of break, once it reach this particular one, right, it actually came out. So if I comment this one, or let's say, okay, if I comment this particular line, right, then let's see, this is how we're supposed to get 1 section, 2 and 3. Because we are doing a break, when column is actually reaching 1. Okay, we are stop. Okay, so what we are doing is it's actually column is coming out a break, so it's coming from the inner loop. That's why we are getting 0 0. Okay, inner break we reached up to that one. We never got 0 1 and 0 2 because it's breaking out in this inner loop. Okay, it's coming out from the inner loop and going to the previous loop. Okay, the parent loop. That's why we are getting once we get 0 0 and 0 1 in inner loop, it's actually breaking it up. Okay, then it's coming out to the upper parents loop, and then it typed 1 0, and then again it become got 1 1. At the time it breaked out and come out from the inner loop, and third one we got 2 0. Okay, while 2 1 it break out. Okay, so broke from the inner loop again and coming out to the previous one. That's why we are seeing 0 0 0 1, sorry, 0 0 1 0 and 2 0. Okay, so what is continue? So continue, skip the current iteration and move to the next one. Fine. Okay, 076, continue. Okay, I did. Okay, let's clear the screen. Python 076. Okay, so if you see, it's supposed to give you the 0 1 2 3 4, right? But when it exactly met with 2, it says continue. So don't print 2. That's what it says, right? That's why you got 0 1 and 3 4, not the 2. So if I make it 3 and execute, you will not get 3, but rest everything you get it. So where you are seeing 2 is missing, okay, over here you will see 3 is missing, because we ask not to do anything when if I is equal to 3. Okay, let's go another example. It says current iteration condition true, yes, go ahead and continue. It's keep the remaining code and goes to the next iteration. It never comes out completely. So the last one, assert, is something that will come out completely, right? Come out all the inner loop, everything. Okay, what is that? What we are trying to do? Print odd number. So anything with one skip, right? That is, it's not going to do it. Oh, okay. Not in another way also we can do that. But what we are doing over here is we are doing modulus operation. Okay, let's comment this one. Okay, try another one. So modulus, as long as the reminder is 0, it will do not print anything. But if the reminder is not 0, it will print. So in this case, it will print all the odd number. Okay, so if I say reminder is equal to 1, it will print all the even number. Okay, hopefully you are clear. Okay, if I make it reminder is 0, then say continue. It means do not print anything, that is a reminder is equal to 0. So 2 divided by 2, reminder is 0, so it will not. So 4 divided by 2, reminder is 0, so it will not. So in this case, it will give only the odd number. But if I change this one reminder to 1, so 2 divided by 2, reminder is 0, so it will not do anything. It will actually print, But when I say 3 divided by 2, remainder is 1, it actually skip that one. So it will just print only the even number. Okay. So it skip H. Okay. You can go for this another example, but it's same. Okay. We are more or less we are practicing a little bit more so that your concept would be getting clear. Okay. Okay. In this case, H. So if I do one more where we have okay, so again if the H also comes, it will ignore that one. Okay, whenever we get H, it will come out from this. Okay, so you can say again break and continue. Okay, stop the loop and break. Yes, in continue it will not come out from the loop, but it will not actually print at that time. Skip iteration, it will just do the skip actually. Okay, and loop completely, yes, here no, and continue loops no, and yes, that's what it says. It's simple. Okay, we can see another few of the more break and continue example, but let's see few of the common mistake. You can go through that one. What is the common mistake over here? You are doing I is equal to 1, and what exactly it is doing is I is less than is equal to 5, continue, and I, okay, why it is going into capital infinite loop, because I plus 1 is 1, never execute when I is equal to 3. Okay. So what is going to do? If you want, you can play around. Okay, it's not doing anything. Okay, so it's getting into a continue loop. Okay, it's now reaching to the 5. Fine. So what is this guy? What is the difference between this one and this one? In this case, this iteration we are actually adding within the loop. Okay, so that's what. Okay, what is assert, right? Assert, if you want to come out completely, you want to close it, the whole program. That's why the assert is there. So this is basic example. In the assert, what exactly it is going to do? It will help you to debug. Okay. Let's create another file. Okay, that's what it is. It is all condition is matching true. That's why it's getting this one. So if I do this one, right, the check is actually failing, right? So it will completely stop the application. Assert error. Okay, this will help you actually to debug it. Okay, so let's, so in a real world we can use this one to debug the values. Okay, it says assert error and must be 18 or above. Okay, You can handle it also, but this is how it is getting. Okay. In the starting of the video, we say it right. In the if statement, it will continue, but in the assert, it will help you to debug things. Okay, transaction successful. But if I make this one as 2000, okay, says assert error, insufficient balance. Okay. User cannot be empty. Okay, if someone just enter it. Okay, useful for testing, debugging, verifying assumption, and detecting bugs early. Okay, so this is what it is. You can go through the common mistakes and you can do the rest of the exercise. Okay. Okay. Oh, hope this was a little bit big, but the key part is you should have a clear understanding of the whole documentation. I'll give the link anyway. You can practice and get the clear understanding. Hope you liked it. Thank you.